Morning, welcome to the Lincolnshire countryside after what feels like far too many days of rain. Could see the parish church of St James in the village of Dry Doddington behind me where I live, and we're going out on a ride this morning through the Lincolnshire villages. We're going to have a ride out towards Belton and Belton House, get some drone shottage of the Belmont Tower, and then we're going to have a ride along the Grantham Canal, and we'll come back into Dry Doddington, do 30 miles or so. Come with us in the glorious sunshine. Okay, well that's it's Belton Hall here, owned by the National Trust. It's not a bad place actually. I've been in there quite a few times. We used to have National Trust membership when the kids were little, but you know, now they're older, we've been in every single castle, monument, stately home and everything we ever need to go for the rest of our lives. So we've let the National Trust membership relinquish now. I think it's about £100 as well now. I don't know how far down you can go here. There's usually somebody at the bottom at some point telling you can't go no further, so I'm just going to ride down here, enjoy the aerial footage. I'm just going to ride down here as far as I can until somebody tells me I'm not allowed to go any further. Well, do you know what, that is a lot further down than I thought you'd actually be allowed to go, but I thought somebody was going to tell me you can't go, but there you go, pay to enter beyond this point. So just going to have a ride back up. Look at that beautiful long track, and we'll go and see if we can get ourselves a coffee in town. It's an absolutely beautiful building. This is the River Witham as it goes through the middle of Grantham. If you look up, follow this link in the top corner here, you'll get a link to a video I did on walking along the whole length of this river. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a river that rises just south of the Lincolnshire border, just by South Witham, and then it spends its entire time in Lincolnshire before it goes out to the sea about 80 odd miles later in Boston. But it's absolutely gorgeous walk along here through Wymondham Park. And of course it's a joint cycle path and footpath as well, so it's perfectly legitimate to cycle along here. Morning, thank you. There's some absolutely beautiful allotments here. And then it's got on the gate how to apply for to get one of them, so they must be good, because you can see they're all cropping really well, and there's hardly any of them like dishevelled or untended for, so you know they must be real popular. Okay, well, we've managed to get ourselves onto the towpath of the Grantham Canal. It's an absolutely beautiful canal to ride along, this is, for the distance you can. You can see right behind me, you'll see the car, probably even here, and see the traffic on the A1. And the canal itself here, which you can see on the left, is got a lot of algae in it. The canal itself stops at that A1, and that's one of the problems with restoring it. So, it first opened in 1797. And it was used quite successfully up until the mid 1800s. Then it declined a bit. Then in the 1930s it was shut, and then from 1970 onwards the Grantham Canal Restoration Society have been trying to restore it, and they've got quite a way down there. They've got from the bridge there about 6 or 7 miles of the 33 miles that it takes to get to Nottingham from here. And you know, but you've got to think to yourself, when you come into Nottingham, all the bridges have been lowered. Oh, nearly caught my head on the tree there. All the bridges have been lowered, and there's still a lot more locks to restore and everything, you know, and you've got to wonder how they're actually going to get to meet the Trent in the end. I've walked along the whole 33 miles of this in a day. It was painful, not least because it stops 1.5 miles short of Grantham town, and it stops like 1.5 miles short of the railway station in Nottingham, so you end up doing about 36 miles if you're going to come back on the train. It's a nice towpath, you know, don't get me wrong. It's pretty much got water in it most of the way, but as you can see, because nobody uses it hardly, the Canal Society have got a few barges and a few boats, but because nobody uses it hardly, there's nothing to stir the water up and nothing to stop it from forming all algae and everything over the top of it. So come and have a ride with us along the Grantham Canal. We're going to go as far as the Dirty Duck pub, and then that's on the towpath that we're on now, and then after the Dirty Duck pub it turns into more of a dirt track, and then we'll carry on following that for another couple of 3 miles till we come to Muston, and then we'll come off there and we'll go into the village of Bottesford, and then there's a fantastic church in Bottesford I want to show you. I know I walk in a lot of churches, and I know for a man with no religion I spend too much time looking in churches, but this one is absolutely superb. Stay with us. There you go, that's what a stoppage looks like. So they've put that barrier in back at the last lock. They obviously want to do some work on it, so they've drained all the water out of it. You can see some water does get past still, but you can see how actually shallow these canals really are. Unbelievable, isn't it? So there's the old steed. This is my bike of choice for any day of the week. This is the Specialised Tri-Cross, which has done Land's End John O'Groats, and has also done Channel to the Med. It's got touring set up. This is just a day little pack I use on the back. Absolutely beautiful. Love it to pieces. Use it every single day of the week. I was just having a look to see where that snake went. You don't often see a snake in the UK, so seeing it there in the lock and catching it with the drone was absolutely brilliant, you know. I don't know what sort it is, I'll have to have a look when I get home, but you know, it's a rare sighting in the UK, a snake. Okay, well this is the bit where we lose the gravel, and we're on cycle route, national cycle route 15, but we lose the hardness of the towpath, and there's quite a few. It's not too bad still, it's still quite firm and it still follows the track. I must think it must be an old railway or something, but or certainly, you know, the old towpath or something like that, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, it's still quite firmish, but there are a few muddy patches like up here, and we're going to follow this through to Muston then, and then into the village of Bottesford. Just need to go a bit slow over some of these bits. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, well this is the village church in the village of Bottesford. Bottesford's not a massive place, it's got 2 shops, 2 pubs, a couple of cafes and butcher's shop. But wait till you see inside this church, it's absolutely stunning. Now I haven't got a religious bone in my body, as well you know, and I've said that a million times before, but like in here is something else. It's really smart. Let's go and have a look. Look how smart that is for a village church. Like, there's some fantastic tombs up here as well. Told you it was smart, didn't I? Oh, well, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. That's me back in the village of Dry Doddington. I'm just puffing a bit because I've had to cycle up the big hill. It's probably the only hill for miles around as well. Yeah, I hope you really enjoyed that. I did. As ever in the UK, you know, it was a beautiful, glorious morning, but it started to bubble up with cloud a bit now, and I'm sitting underneath the big oak tree here outside the village hall, with the church on the other side of me. And yeah, we cycled out to Belton Hall. We couldn't quite get a drone shottage of Belmont Tower, but we got some of Belton Hall. Had a ride up as close as we could along the Grantham Canal towpath, and then back up to that fairly impressive church at Bottesford there. I'll put links to all of them in the description, and to the video about the Grantham Canal Society, and to their webpage if you're interested in any of that. Yeah, thanks for joining us, and yeah, join us again for some more cycling.